Okay, back with another review for the channel, and I know what you're thinking. There's a lot of 109s out there, and we've done a few on the channel, and we will be doing another one. This one's coming to the channel shortly. This is going to be my build that, as I start to get busy in the year, between sort of March and June, I like to have a project that's just kind of ticking on, and this is what that's going to be. So I'm going to start this one somewhere around that time, run on through, and you'll be able to see it and join in with the build once it's all done. Something a little bit different for me, I won't be doing any of the box schemes. I've got a set of decals which was very hard to find, and I have got one. I've got a scheme I want to do. It's going to be a very interesting subject. It's going to be a very special subject. Nice topic, I think. Something a little bit different for a 109. So not technically German and not Swiss. So there we go. Can't be many more left. So I won't ruin it for you, but stay tuned and we'll pick that up later in the year. But for this video, we're going to have a look at this kit straight out of the box. So let's get into it. Now, this being a dragon kit, the instructions can be a little bit complex, but we'll do our best to run through them. It's pretty simple stuff. There's a few things online about this build that I don't personally agree with. I've seen numerous builds of these and looked through this and checked the parts myself. I don't think there's going to be as many problems as other sort of builds online have sort of alluded to. It looks like the holy grail kit for 109s, if you ask me. But I'll eat those words when we come to build it, I suppose. So starting off with the cockpit, very detailed, no need to add anything in this one. It all comes in the box. I don't personally think you need to bring anything in outside of this. Just crack it in, crack on with it straight out of the box. This kit is a bit difficult to find these days, certainly in the UK. I bought this one straight from China, had no problems with customs or anything like that. It came straight through. It's about £40. I thought that was perfect for that. It's now been reboxed by HGW with a whole load of extras. I personally don't feel any of them are necessary, but you can obviously make that decision yourself. So it is back out on the market, and this one caters for an E3. But there is options in the box to make the other version. Certainly an E7, you just don't have the canopy which is squared off. So as long as you've got a rounded canopy, you can go on through to an E7 with a rounded canopy. So check your reference, check your version that you're doing, and you should be good to go. So running on through, we've got ROMO2 all through the cockpit, so plenty of detail here. Nice instrument panel there with separate decals for the instruments themselves, I believe. Let's just double check that before I start saying things that aren't true. So the instrument dials are hopefully catered for on the decal sheet. What have we got? 34, 32. So no, you have to paint the instruments. That's a pain. It would have been nice to have the actual dials. Nevertheless, that's something we can possibly do, or there you go. So maybe if you're not into painting instrument panels, it might be worth looking at a Yahoo instrument panel. But I will be painting these, and I'll try my very best to get through them. So running on through, you've got the cockpit sidewalls that are very detailed. There's plenty of parts going on the sidewalls here. Then it all comes together with a wing spar section that's actually fits to the bottom of the cockpit. Then we've got a full engine running on through here with all the detail, even on the lower section, that sometimes is missed. So I believe you can actually open up the bottom part of the engine cowling. We've even got machine gun detail as well inside, but I'm not sure there's a huge amount of ways to show that. Here's the lower chin panel, which you can leave off, and you've got all the detail underneath there. I think the wing guns you can see through the end of the wing here. I don't think there's an actual panel that opens on the top. Then we've got the radiators on the underside of the wing coming on, and then it's fold out instructions, so it's rather tricky to deal with. But we've got the rest of the parts going on there, and then the rudder is going on. That's a two-part rudder with a etched metal piece in the middle. So again, plenty of refinement there. And the control cables for the rudder as well, they are in etched metal. Then we've got the horizontal stabilizers going on, and then bringing the engine to the fuselage, and this is where you can add the cowling if you want to. And then we've got the canopy going on, which can be opened or closed. We've got the armoured headrest, which also goes on at this point, and we've even got a mirror that can go onto the windscreen as well. So it's a lovely lot of options and details in this. We've got the stencil data call out here, and then running through the marking options, we've got Heinz Grabau, or Grobo, however you would pronounce that, from JG3, France 1940. And then we've got Adolf Galland from JG26 in Marquise in 1940. And then running on through the rest of the schemes, all very basic schemes, I've got to say. They could have done, yeah, there's an awful lot of 109s out there, and there's an awful lot of good schemes, and these are a little bit basic, but nevertheless, there's plenty of decals out there. So we got Gerd from JG27. In 1940, or 1940, running through here. Werner Schuler, JG27. Hans Hugo Witt, JG26 in Dortmund. And then we've got a British captured one in 1940 with the British roundels. Oh, and there's even more on here. Right, so we got Helmut Bennemann, JG52, France 1940. Horst Teitzen, the names are getting trickier. JG51, which is Marquis West, or Marquis. That's a more interesting scheme. Looks very much like Priller's scheme a little bit. And then we've got Fritz Myas at JG3, Brombos 1940, or Brombos. Who knows? We know my pronunciations by now if you watch my videos. Not the best. So starting off with the sort of extra set that they give you, although obviously it's not extra, you've got your set of decals there, which is typical Dragon decals. They are, I don't know if I can get them out. Yes, there we go. Can I? No, I'm not going to cut them as I'm not using them, I'll just leave them on there. But we've got the photo etch and the rest of the decals. So we've got the stencil data running through here. It is very tight carrier film all around the decals, so they're looking very good. Nice register, very colourful as you can see. We've got the photo etch parts, which is a few small parts here which are used. Can't actually see what they are. One of them is the bar that holds the canopy open, and then here we've got the belts, rudder pedals. No, we haven't. Here we've got the belts and a few other small fine parts. So not overkill, and we've also got DS, which is their sort of spongy plastic, which are for the wheel well covers that go on the inside. So they make up the wheel well. It was a kind of like canvas cover around the inside of the wheel well. So that's what they replicate. So looking at the first sprue, we've got the fuselage halves here, which show very nice fine recessed details and a few small areas of rivets just around some of the access doors, but there's no riveting on the actual panel lines of the aircraft. For me, that's a good thing. I don't personally like it like you get on the Edward kits. I feel as though it's almost a bit too much. We've got some internal structure as well. Few ejector pin marks. Hopefully that one there's not going to be an issue, but there's nothing else on the actual face of it. And we're starting to see the different options that we've got. So 3 different nose cones there, and you'll see as you go through that there's all the options. But it's just the canopy, like I said, that means that you can't make an actual pure sort of E4 or E7, although they did exist with the canopy that you get in the kit. And the other sprue here caters for the upper halves of the wings, one of the horizontal stabilizers and some of the control surfaces, all looking very good. Nice subtle textures there on the control surfaces. We've got wheel well detail on the internals as well, and you can see where the spars go in to give you a very strong wing structure, which is a good thing to see. And we've also got one of the panels here as well for around the cowling, already moulded, and that is actually how it came off. It sat like that. The Edward kit, you get these 2 bits that are separate, but it came off like this. You often see it sat next to the aircraft like that. So that's good to have that piece like that. And then one other bit here just shows some of the finer details. So we've got a very, very nice seat there. Really well done, with some even with some structure and bracing on the rear of the seat. We've got the chain there as well for, I think that's for the undercarriage or something like that, that you wind up. I may be wrong there, maybe for adjusting the control surfaces. Then we've got a nice gear control stick there and rudder pedals, all looking very good. And now we've got a few other parts here. So you've got the wheels, which are two halves joined together. So you're going to have a nasty seam running around the actual tyre, so something to look out for there. Very nice hollowed out exhausts there. They're really good. They look very sharp indeed. And the gear legs and a few other small bits. And there's the two halves of the rudder. And now here, this part here is one of the bits that goes on to making it a B-type EML, so E4B, E7B, or and so on. That's the cradle for both the bomb and the drop tank, which you've got here, which were generally used on the later versions. Then we've got another large sprue here which caters for the underside of the wing, so we've got nice riveting just around the outside of these panels, more control surfaces, the other horizontal stabilisers and the gear doors, which look very good, and we've also got the start of the machine guns there as well, which are looking very nice indeed. Some barrel detail there. And then we've got the cowling and a few small parts here that make up the engine area. So you've got the arms there that hold on the engine and a few other bits. All of this goes to starting to give you nice lots of detail in there, and as I say, it's looking very good, very nicely detailed. We've got more machine guns there as well for the nose. They're the ones that go here, so that's a nice touch. And then on to the actual main sections for the engine and a few other parts. We've got the propeller blades there separately as well, which seem to go into the hub quite nicely. Another nose there as well for the prop. All looking very good, very nicely detailed again. Much different way for a 109 to build up, so it's interesting to see it. A bit different to the actual Edward way of doing it, which is the other sort of main competitor. And then on this sprue we've got again more things that make up some of the different types of 109Es, including the bomb there. So that looks like the 5... Is that the 500? No, that's a 250k bomb, I think, by the looks of it. It's quite a large bomb though. And then there's the section on the underside for that as well. And then a few small bits here making up firewalls, and this is the top of the engine, well, the machine gun deck. This is the cockpit floor here with the wing spar section. So all a much different way of going about it, but it's again, the detail runs all the way through it. No ejector pin marks in anywhere that I can see would be an issue, which is something I always like to look out for. Then lastly we're on to the canopy section. So we've got that bit there, and then we've got a separate clear bag which caters for another windscreen. So that is the one that has the telescopic sight. So it's got a hole in it. I think that's Gallan's one. He put a sight in it, I think. So you've got the hole there. So that's your different windscreen, and then there's your normal windscreen there. Clear parts looking very good. Raised rivets on the metal frames, and then you've got a separate piece of armoured glass there as well. So there we go, that is the Cyberhobby Dragon DML, however you want to say it, Messerschmitt Bf109 E-3 in 1/32 scale. Interesting kit that came out a while ago. I think it was 2012 when they started releasing these. Now been reissued by HGW. Who knows whether Dragon are actually going to produce this one themselves again. Probably not, considering HGW have got it for a little while. But a nice kit nonetheless. This one was off of eBay via China for me. I didn't have any problems into the UK, but you obviously want to be aware of customs if you're going to do something like that, and maybe factor that into the price. So again, if you've enjoyed seeing this kit review, then stay tuned to the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because we will be building this one on the channel in the future. And as always, if you like what you see, please give the video a like, and I'll see you in the next video.